everyone, welcome to my channel. And today, I'll be reading a multi-character extruder by Legendaries Imagines on Tumblr. So let's get into it. Todoroki Shoto. For the second time that week, everyone practiced rescue training in different areas of the building. At times, it was perhaps what the best course of action would be if someone was drowning, bleeding out, dehydrated, and so on. This time, they had trained everyone on what to do in the case of an earthquake. Of course, the building was simulated to shake, a few pieces of debris falling from the ceiling, nothing more, and nothing less. But then, a large piece of the ceiling came down, pinning Todoroki's legs down as he let out a hiss of pain. Todoroki! Midoriya was cut off when another large piece fell in front of him. He let out a string of coughs, his eyes looking at the pile of debris in his way. He turned towards his classmates, who had all but rushed over. One of the teachers, who had been supervising the simulation, rushed over to you, realizing that something had happened. "You have to get him out before..." He quietly rushed past them, grabbing hold of the large piece of debris as he lifted it up, throwing it out of the way, before rushing towards your crush. You easily lifted up the wreckage, pinning Todoroki down. "Are you okay?" You asked quietly, your face blushing, as you had just realized what you have just done in front of your whole class. Carefully, you put the debris down, away from Todoroki. As he slowly stood up, you stumbled forward, and you were quick to lunge forward, reaching over to steady him. Thank you, Maya," Todoroki said dryly, his cheeks flushing a light blush as he looked away, his eyes focusing on the ground as some of his classmates made their way towards you too, cutting the moment that the two of you had. "Bakugo Katsuki." "God damn it," Katsuki hissed as he hit the door. He was a little angry, and well, it was for good reason. Not that Bakugo Katsuki had a reason to be angry, as he was angry most of the time, but he might have just been reaching the end of his wits by this time, getting a little angry at how things have went. His fist barely made a dent in the door, which was a rarity, since anything he punched was usually either completely decimated or so broken that you could not use it anymore. You stood there, your arms crossed, as you nervously looked around the storage room for a possible exit. Hearing Katsuki yell surely did not make the situation any better, as he pounded furiously at the door. "Kirishima, open the damn door," he yelled out. Katsuki should have really known better than to tell Kirishima about his crush on you. It had not even been a month since he told him. Not that he needed to, since about everyone in the back squad had already noticed the bland's growing attention on you. He would stare at you and make some comments about you that were not so nice, but not so mean either. They were fond, and anyone could tell that. You were different to him, and they could see something happening between you two. He really should have brushed Kirishima's question off though, and not confirmed us. Should have made an excuse. And now, here he was, stuck with you in the same damn room. He turned to look at you, watching the way that you had seemed to curl onto yourself. He growled to himself, turning back to continue banging on the door. "Kirishima." He froze when he saw your fingers wedged themselves between the door and the wall, and with one smooth motion, You had torn the door open, slowly stepping out. As you looked back at him, your face flushing as you quickly looked down at the ground when you met his gaze. We, we should hurry. We have a test. He mumbled Charlie, and all Katsuki could do was nod as he followed you absentmindedly, just staring at you, his mind going elsewhere. Because that, what you have just done right there, was the hottest thing I'd ever seen. Midoriya Izuku. When you saw Katsuki begin to stalk towards Midoriya, his hands sparking, as he yelled out a string of threatening words. You had to hype yourself up, turn forwards, your feet carrying you as you moved towards your teammate. Being a hero meant protecting those around you from villains. In this case, Bakugo and Mineta were the villains. Mineta was probably hiding away from the upcoming fight between the two. It was most definitely the smarter thing to do. The objective of the game was simple: get the flag from the villains or heroes, and bring it back to your own base. If you could do that, then you and your team won the game. Katsuki obviously did not care for the game too much. He really only cared about the beating the crap out of Midoriya part. And your fist moved quickly, slamming into Katsuki's chest and throwing him a few yards away, probably causing him to be disoriented for at least a few moments. Midoriya's mouth was wide as he just stared at where Katsuki had landed, eyes wide in amazement. He grabbed Midoriya's arm and ran. You two already had their flag. You didn't hide it very well, and now all you had to do was get it to your base before Katsuki or Meta stopped you. With the aggressive shouts you heard from Katsuki, you could only hope for the best as you had a feeling. Even if you won the game, you really didn't win. Midoriya said nothing as the two of you ran towards your base, but you could see the way his eyes lit up. Questions about your career began to rise as he just looked at you in amazement. Man, you're so talented, he said as he smiled, and he blushed, looking away. This certainly was not the time to have Midori complimenting you and distracting you like this. You had a murderous Katsuki Bakugou after the two of you, but you had to admit it. He was cute when he was impressed like that, and you wanted to see him more like this. Thank you guys for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. I hope you enjoyed listening to this as much as I did making it. Anyway, goodbye.